Well, to bring us up to date with the situation in the Mediterranean at the moment, let's speak now to the global affairs analyst Marco Vicenzino, who is in Athens for us. Marco, at least 48,000 people have arrived in Greece by sea this year alone. That's more than 6 times the number during the same period last year. How big a problem is this for the country?
Well, many of these refugees that are escaping are mostly from Syria, and you have many of them, there are others from Asian countries such as Afghanistan. This is just an example, further example, how that international humanitarian crisis is not just going from Libya to Italy, but it's increasingly becoming even more serious, going from Turkey into Greece. And in terms of the type of problem, and this is, for many Greeks, this is a worst-case scenario. Because you have the nation is on the brink of economic collapse, and you exacerbate it by thousands of more refugees, straining resources, to the maximum limit. The economic statistics for Greece are staggering in terms of unemployment, poverty. So this adversity is going to be something long term. It took, the economic situation here took years to get into, and it's going to take years to get out. And you couple that with this refugee crisis, and the timing couldn't be worse.
Yeah, absolutely. It's an easy thing to forget that they do cost a lot of money to try and keep all these people and not to have a humanitarian crisis on your hands. What do people then think should happen to the migrants once they've arrived in Greece? Because on some islands, there's a big split between those who think they should be sent back and those who think they should be allowed to stay.
This refugee crisis continues in the coming weeks and months, many of these places around in the Mediterranean country on Europe's southern flank, Spain, Italy, Malta, Greece, there's a lot of generosity that's been shown in welcoming these people. But as time goes by, there's probably going to be more and more local reactions, mostly attributed to that, that scarcity of resources. But overall, this question is going to be largely determined. The question you ask will be largely determined by international law. Once the refugees arrive, it's largely the responsibility of the state of arrival to provide. Obviously, the refugee crisis in Italy, going from Italy to Libya, has dominated headlines for the last few months. But the Greek side of the refugee crisis has received limited media attention. But as the weeks go by, we'll see a lot more. As far as the Italian side of the crisis unfolded, the continuing debate in Europe is burden sharing, and Greece is one of those countries receiving these people, and they're part of that debate. Italy, Spain, Greece, Malta, they're requesting more burden sharing from other European partners, but so far there really hasn't been much done apart from proposals. There's still not much concrete action left.
Yeah, Marco, most of these migrants seem to be coming from the Turkish coasts. Is there a sense in Greece that the Turkish authorities should be doing more to stop them?
You'll always get that. More can always be done no matter what. But one needs to also take into account, the context of the other side of the Turkish debate. Turkey is currently hosting over 2 million Syrian refugees since the war began in 2011. The bottom line is that Turkey has been one of the most generous countries in the Syrian conflict. Plus, Turkey itself is a massive country, and many of the refugees are being exploited by smugglers who move freely around the country. Also the Turkish coastline is enormous, and there are numerous Greek islands that are just kilometers away from the Turkish coast. So you're looking at Turkey's southern and western coastline, bordering several Greek islands like Lesbos, Samos, Kos, Chios, and it's also important to take into account part of the land border that Turkey shares with Greece in the north, and primarily speaking about a river that divides the two countries, which traditionally there's been a lot of refugees coming across. So in other words, the challenges Turkey is facing in trying to host and control the flow of over 2 million refugees is quite overwhelming for them also.
Yeah, and I guess as long as there's great demand, which there appears to be at the moment, there will always be supply in terms of the people traffickers trying to get them over there. Until we see conditions improving in countries like Syria, where these people are escaping from, are we likely to see, Marco, ever-increasing numbers of migrants going to places like Greece and Italy?
Yes, and once again, the key countries on Europe's southern flank, also in addition to Greece and Italy, also let's talk about Malta and Spain. Yes, it will increase. On the Spanish side, it's been usually through the Moroccan coast, going into southern Spain and the Spanish enclaves of Morocco, Ceuta and Melilla. The numbers will be coming. They have been coming for years. The key question is how to manage it most effectively. You have to address the sources. with short-term and long-term solutions. The key thing is cooperation and collaboration between European states, particularly on the burden-sharing front, and also cooperation and collaboration between Europe and the bordering countries of the Mediterranean basis. You're looking like Turkey and North Africa. In North Africa, the most serious link right now is ending that civil war in Libya between the rival governments. In other words, you need a united, effective government in Libya that can be a stable and reliable partner for Europe in confronting and managing this ongoing crisis.
Marco Vicenzino live there in Athens with the very latest on that. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.